This morning, we're going to talk about our own power to help healing. Although the world is full of suffering, it is also full of overcoming of it. One of the most healing things that you and I can do is to recognize where in your own life you are your own poison. We do things all the time that hurt us. We think we might be hurting other people by our conduct, by our self-talk. Our self-talk is so important to manage, and yet we don't have tools, or we don't seem to know how to just say, I'm not thinking that way anymore. Our sorrows and our wounds are healed only when we touch them with compassion. We have to use compassion on ourselves. This was the best I could do yesterday, but today I can do something different. Next week, I'll be doing something different. Every time you heal a wound, every time your compassion kicks in, there's always another level you can take it to. And this is how it is with life. We get situations brought to us to see if we can manage them better. And as we manage them better and better, they just kind of fall away at their own weight. But we have to learn it is a process. It is a process that we go through that is just kin to our human nature. Jesus knew this. That's why he repeated things that he said, because he knew before the scientists knew that if we repeat something long enough, it becomes understood and it becomes a part of our lives. That's why our self-talk is so important, because if we repeat it enough in our brain, it becomes who we are. And sometimes it's not the person we want to be. Love is the most important and effective healing power there is. And once again, Jesus came here to fulfill the law and teach us how to live. He showed us how to live. He lived with love, and he blessed everyone, anyone that came to him and asked to be healed. He healed them. And it was up to them to lead the life to stay healed. When I stand before thee at the end of the day, I will see my scars, and I know that my hands were wounded, and that was my healing. And maybe that's what Jesus thought when he was upon that cross, when he stood before thee at the end of the day, when he stood before the Father. And the Father and he could see the scars, and he knew the wounds in his hands, and he knew that he was healed. The place of true healing is a place of tremendous work and glimmering light. We do work at it. When we hurt somebody, we have to review and see our part in it. We have to heal those places within us, but we can see it with dignity because we have that light, that glimmering light within us. And you have to work to get there, but you cannot do it alone. Often we need others to help us and show us a new way. Every step taken in being mindful of our self-talk, of our behavior, of the way we treat people, of the way we think, we have to work at that. We have to become mindful to be a bridge that brings us one step closer to healing in ourselves and the planet. There will be no unity. There will be nothing but healing if we bring ourselves closer to God. Self-forgiveness is essential to self-healing. If you can't forgive yourself, if you have to continue to prove you're right in situations that even you know you're wrong, you can't heal. And natural forces within us are the true healers. We have natural chemicals, we have natural forces, we hear the voice of God. We just don't always follow it. And we have to learn to trust that voice. We have to learn to believe in our hunches, and we have to walk in faith. We have to trust the process. Those are natural forces that live within us. They are our true healers. And ultimately, there can be no complete healing until we have restored our primal trust in life. If you don't trust life, if you don't trust the process, how do you expect to have complete healing? You have to have trust. So many of us lack trust, and we have to have trust in things we can't see, but things we know can happen. To heal is to touch with love. That's what we previously touched with anger. We touched with fear. We have to learn to touch that with love. It's hard. We don't want to. Most of us like to play in our messes, but we have to learn to touch these things in love and to cut that mind chatter out. If we don't cut it out, it will be our prison. Tears are God's gift to us. That's our own holy water. They heal us as they flow. When you go through a catastrophic event, you cry. It's just part of the healing power. It is our healing water. It is our holy water because we put on the outside what's going on in the inside. It is so important to start looking at tears differently than how we've always looked at it. Even the smallest shift in our perspective can bring about the greatest healing. You can look outside in your kitchen window and you'll see one thing. You can look at the same thing at another kitchen window right beside it, and you see a different perspective. That's how people are. We see different perspectives as long as we are looking at the same thing. It's always been that way. We have to quit thinking people are wrong and they have to think like us. Nobody's going to think like us. We are unique. And that is a gift that God gave us. And so the smallest perspective can bring about the greatest healing. Music offers great healing. You can just play music you like. It offers healing. I was at my brother's for a couple of days this week, and he's failing. But we listen to, he likes gospel music. So he has a double wide chair, and I sit in the chair next to him, and we listen to different music that he liked. We listen to the old time music that he remembers these people performing. It's all on video. He had such a nice time. It lifted his spirits. It lifted my spirits. I know those people too. Probably most of you don't, but some of you still do. So healing is a great, great way to help somebody. When my mom was dying, all she wanted to do was hear the gospel hymns. And so that's what I played for her. Music is beautiful, and people that want to hear gospel hymns and people that enjoy that, that's a great healing to them. People that enjoy Bach or Beethoven, that's a great healing to them. And that's our purpose. Our purpose is to heal and to grow closer to the likeness of God. And remember, no matter what your problem, God is still the answer. And if you trust in your Heavenly Father, He'll never let you down. God bless each and every one of you.